On today's JMO with Josh and Joe, we have Pelicans are the most frustrating team in the NBA.
Yep.
And I'm not just saying that because we're fans.
No.
They're very frustrating.
To the average eye.
Yes. Then we go into Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr gets his money, gets his bag.
Cha-ching!
Yeah, deservedly. We talk about our teams to beat in the East, and I guess our team to beat in the East, and then our teams to beat in the West. West is going to be fun.
So much fun.
We get to our OT Dish. OT Dish is good this week. Joe has two really good ones. Then we go into the NFL. Combine week, baby.
It's back.
Combine week. I can't wait. We go into that. Got a couple of NFL news. A little Eric Bieniemy talk. A little Derek Carr deal restructuring talk. Then we get to the big point of the week, basically. The NCAA unable to enforce its NIL restrictions.
Whole new world.
Go into deep detail on that. That's a fun one. Then we get to college basketball. LSU is the second most frustrating team in the in basketball.
Yep.
Behind the Pelicans. Then we get into the court storming debacle.
Have to. It's the hot topic.
It's a hot topic right now. Court storming is in. It's in. It's the trend.
Yep.
I think this actually might make us storm the courts more.
Really?
Yeah. I think that there's going to be more court storming. Talk a little bit about March Madness. It's going to be fucking awesome, dude.
Can't wait.
Then we get into a little bit of college baseball. A little college baseball talk.
All right. Let's rock and roll.
Welcome to JMO, Justin Joe. It is Tuesday, February 27th. And Joe, I think the New Orleans Pelicans pissed me off more than the 8th season of Game of Thrones.
They're so frustrating.
They're just
so frustrating.
Oh, it's miserable. And honestly, they only piss me off when they're playing low to mid-tier level teams. That's it.
Yeah.
It's just mind-boggling sometimes, man. Like, I don't get it. How do we lose to the Bulls like that?
Because on paper, honestly, we always thought that this team was ready to take the next step. And then now we've seen instances where this team has taken the next step, but it's not consistent.
No, for every big step they take forward, they take 3 steps back. It's miserable. And honestly, I'm almost ready to say they're bad. I think they're bad.
They're bad?
Yeah, because if you keep losing to those bad teams, you're bad. Yeah, sure, you beat the Clippers on the road. Yeah, great, fine, whatever. You had some great wins. I don't care. You're losing to bad teams. And I've had it. I'm sick of it. And honestly, it's the third fucking quarter. It all boils down to the third fucking quarter. Willie Green can't make adjustments to save his freaking life. I don't know what's going on in the locker room at halftime.
Yeah.
But it's not adjustments. It's not any type of look. I actually, you know what? I went through this. I have a good stat.
Okay.
So the last 2 games, they've scored 22 points. I think in the third quarter each game. Not good.
Not good.
Not good. You don't want to. You don't want to have your worst quarter coming out in the second half. You got to come out swinging. 22 points each game. So, I went through this was actually kind of fun for me. I went through every single game this season. I looked up
every single game
so far that the New Orleans Pelicans have played this season. And
man, you've been really bored without football, huh?
No, dude, it's not good. it's not good at all. But I looked up. Shit, fuck you, dude. It's not been going well without.
Look,
football.
It's a tough time. I'm having the same problem.
Okay, so look, I went through and looked up every single time the Pelicans won the third quarter. By win the third quarter, I mean score more points than the other team in the third quarter.
Okay.
So I looked up every time they won the third quarter and lost the third quarter. Now, I tallied up when they won the third quarter and they won the game, when they won the third quarter, lost the game, when they lost the third quarter but won the game, and then when they lost the third quarter and lost the game.
Okay.
Okay? So here's the numbers. So And then I guess they tied twice in the third quarter. I think they tied the Lakers and one other team. They won one and lost one. That's 50-50. That cancels out.
Okay.
So when they won the third quarter, they won the game. They won the third quarter 27 times this year.
Okay.
22 of those 27 times they won the game. So they won. If they won the third quarter, they win the game 81% of the time.
Okay.
81% of the time they win the game when they win the third quarter. They lose the game 19% of the time. That's it.
That's just analytics.
Yes, that is. Pretty much. I'm introducing analytics to basketball. Anyways, so when they lost the third quarter, this is the stats. They lost the third quarter 29 times. They lost the game 17 of those 29 times when they lost the third quarter. So almost 60% of the time when they lose the third quarter, they lose the game.
Dang.
And then it's 40% they win the game. It's all about the third quarter for the Pelicans. That's all I'm going to say. It is the third quarter is the most important quarter, and I just don't know how Willie Green has not been able to make halftime adjustments. Like, if we score the most points in the third quarter, we win the fucking game 81% of the time. 81% of the time.
Yeah. He does know how to build up tension, during halftime.
He did have a sick dunk. Did you see that shit? I'll send you the highlights.
Who are you talking about?
Willie Green.
Oh, yeah. I actually did see that.
Yeah.
I did see that. I was like, oh, man, he can still ball. But no, I was talking about, like, setting tensions and, going out in the second half and fighting the other team.
Tell me more.
So, against the Pelicans against the Heat, we actually had quite a bit of suspensions that came out of that.
We did.
Off of a misunderstanding, apparently. Because Zion he was not even phased. He didn't even think that it was actual, like, malicious foul that Kevin Love did, and everybody else on everybody else's team just fought.
I don't think Kevin Love could maliciously foul Zion, though.
No, absolutely not. He's the Kirk Cousins of the NBA.
And Zion's kind of like the Shaq of the new NBA.
Nothing's going to phase him.
It's like Kirk Cousins going and trying to hacky Shaq.
Yeah. Like, it's not going to phase him.
No.
He's just going to laugh it
His
off.
Vegan ass ain't going to... It's like a fucking little kid, little toddler, like, tapping on daddy's leg to get his attention. That's all it is.
Yeah. So, but Jimmy Butler, Najee Marshall, and Nikola Jokic all got 1-game suspensions.
Nikola Jokic?
Jokovic.
Oh, Jovic. Gotcha.
Yeah. He's almost like Nikola Jokovic, but... Jovic.
Yeah, Jovic.
So, but yeah, they got all 1-game suspension. Jose Alvarado and Thomas Bryant got 3-game suspensions because they came off the bench and started fighting.
Oh, so it's all about like that 5 feet of distance.
Yes, that's a big difference apparently.
Apparently, the 5 feet of distance merits a 2 more game suspension than the others.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
That's dumb. That is dumb.
Yeah, they're just trying to make sure it doesn't escalate. It's kind of one of Adam Silver's thing of like preventing it from escalating. Like, obviously tensions are going to be high on the court, but to try to prevent, I guess, another Ron Artest situation.
The malice in the palace.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think that's ever going to happen again. And if it does, it's got to be in Detroit. We just don't have any more Ron Artests in the league.
Yeah.
There's really none. Like,
Draymond.
But he's kind of on.
He's always willing to swing a punch.
That is true, but he's on his way out. And honestly, everybody just knows Draymond as Draymond. Like, people hated Ron Artest. So, like, I don't know. I don't think I'll see another Malice in the Palace unless Detroit gets good again. Detroit, yeah, because Detroit needs to be good, and they got to be playing somebody like the Pacers or something like that.
Yeah.
They got to be. It's got to be a hated guy.
I was about to say, yeah. I feel like, yeah.
People, the NBA players are trying to be so likable nowadays. It's kind of sickening. I kind of miss the olden days, when people hated each other.
Yeah,
I miss.
Well,
that.
they're more celebrities than they are athletes in some ways. Sometimes
that's true.
I'm not going to say that for all NBA athletes, but there's a lot of NBA athletes that are celebrities more so than athletes.
There's some that are celebrities and athletes.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm kind of saying.
Okay, yeah. No, no. I meant like there's some NBA athletes that just like the celebrity status over being an actual NBA player. Ben Simmons,
LeBron.
Well, no, LeBron's a
both?
He's a two-way.
He's a two-way, okay.
Yeah. He's a celebrity and an athlete. He's done really, really well in this day and age. That is one thing I will say that LeBron might be better than Jordan at. If Jordan was playing in today's day and age, he would not be able to handle the social media like LeBron James has handled it. That's the only thing I think LeBron James is better than Jordan at, as far as basketball goes.
Interesting.
He might be a little more athletic, but Michael Jordan's the best basketball player of all time, hands down. Let's see. You got anything else on the Pelicans? It's frustrating, man.
It is.
Like we can go toe to toe and beat anybody in the fucking league, and we can also lose to anyone in the league.
And we have everything going for us. We even have the chip on the shoulder now of everybody doubting us. So obviously Stephen A. Smith just came out and was, dogging on Zion's weight. He's like, he's never going to take the next step unless he, stops befriending the chefs over in the restaurant business. And then Draymond, who was on the All-Star, I don't know how he got as a commentator on the All-Star game.
Because people tune in to listen to him.
Well, yeah, and he has a podcast. But anyways, him and Charles Barkley, Chuck, were talking, and Draymond said no one is worried about the Pelicans.
No one's worried about the Pelicans?
Yeah.
Why? We have one of the better rosters in the league. We can beat anybody in the league. We've shown that.
Well, that's what Charles Barkley was saying, and Draymond seemed to disagree with him. That right there is forever for the rest of the season bulletin board material that Willie Green could be using.
Yeah, I just don't think bulletin board material works as well in pro sports as it does college. I like it there. I like it. It gets me pumped up.
Yeah.
I want more bulletin board material to get me pumped up. I just don't know. I don't think it fires up these NBA guys as much.
I could see that. That's a reasonable assessment.
Yeah. And honestly, dude, if you watch Zion play, it's not like he's playing fat.
No, he's not.
He's not playing fat. He is doing these athletic moves that less than 1% of humanity can do. Like, Stephen A. can shove a dick up his ass.
Yeah,
Cowboy's dick up his ass.
It's reasonable to say that whenever he's, out, the last couple of seasons where he's been out most of the season. But on a year like this year, to say something like that, he's been balling.
Yeah, he has been balling. I think he's trying to get traded. He's like, hey, guys, I can still ball. I want out.
Yeah, probably.
I think he wants out. But, hey, we can beat anybody. I guess that's why it's frustrating. But I guess I am kind of a hater too, because I just got through saying they're bad. I announced that they're bad.
Yep.
Because they are. They lose to bad teams. The Bulls are not good. No offense to Billy Donovan and that whole squad. They're not good.
I don't even think Billy Donovan's there anymore.
He's not there anymore. I thought he was there. Here, I want to look it up.
I think he just got dropped not too long ago. And then we lost to the Heat, which the Heat actually are kind of coming back around. But
No. I never will consider a loss to Spoelstra a bad loss.
Yeah, so that's not terrible, but still, I don't know. After a fight like that and getting Jimmy Butler, their best player, kicked out, you got to capitalize on that, but they just couldn't.
I think it still is Billy.
Oh, it is still Billy.
That's what it's saying. So
good for him. I thought he got replaced this year for some reason, but that's me keeping up with football more than basketball. Yeah, well, now we're back. We're into basketball, so we're transitioning. It's taken a little bit, but we're transitioning. Hence my dive into the third quarter statistics on the New Orleans Pelicans. Mm-hmm. Anyways, anything else? That's it on the Pels.
Quick note: Steve Kerr, highest paid coach in the NBA, got what, a 2-year, $35 million contract.
Highest coach in the NBA at $17.5 million a year.
Yeah, I would rather have Steve Kerr's contract than Eric Spoelstra's.
Why is that?
Because it doesn't matter. Just because Eric Spoelstra got an 8-year, $120 million contract doesn't mean he's going to live to see the end of that contract.
Well, yeah,
and I'm not. That wasn't a death threat or anything. I meant he won't be. He could.
Yeah, you gotta watch what you say.
I know. he might actually like it. I mean, you've seen it. You see it in the NFL all the time. Like, it doesn't matter what the contract says; they can get around it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I mean, look at Belichick. Belichick was seen for the longest time as unfireable.
Yeah, and so I would rather have more money per year than a longevity type of contract.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And another thing that makes a lot of sense, too, is that his contract ends the same timeline that Steph Curry's ends. So it looks like that's their solidification of like, hey, we're going to take what we've got right now and make a last-second push for another championship. They've actually been 8-2 the last 10 games.
They're playing really well. And honestly, that's why I love the West. I mean, and we'll get to this in a second. The West is going to be so much fun because we got the Lakers and the fucking Golden State Warriors that are probably going to be in the play-in game.
Yeah.
And then they're going to be the 7th and 8th seed. Dude, those are 2 7th and 8th seeds that, like, they probably won't win, but you don't want to play them if you're like the Timberwolves or the OKC Thunder.
Absolutely. They're just like Miami Heat was last year.
Yeah.
As far as being the 8th seed. It's just you can't beat that type of playoff experience that the coach and the players have. They know what to do. They know how to flip the switch on whenever it comes to playoff time. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It's scary. And the beautiful, again, actually, let's get to the next segment. We wanted to do a little the teams to beat in the East, the teams to beat in the West.
Yep.
Honestly, in the East, it's Boston. That's it. I mean, like the Knicks are playing really good ball. I get that. Milwaukee, they still have Giannis. The Cavs are gonna decline. They were hot for a little bit. I think they're gonna decline. The 76ers suck without Joel Embiid. The Hawks just lost Trae Young. Like, it's basically just Boston, right?
Yeah, I mean you're right. The only thing I was thinking of was if the Bucks can turn it around, I think they could be a team.
I don't think so. With Doc Rivers, I don't think so. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, that's a stretch. I mean, that's me trying to stretch and give like some alternate answer and not be boring, give the same answer, but it's the Celtics.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just I don't know. I mean, the Miami Heat right now is in 6th, so that could be fun, but it's the Celtics.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, on the West side, this is so beautiful. I fucking love it. Because you got the Timberwolves number 1, OKC number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Those are 2 fairly new teams to the top of the West.
Yes.
And that's fun because they both have really good stars. In OKC has Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Minnesota has Anthony Edwards.
Yep.
And they both have really good teams. OKC has a fairly young team. Minnesota is in the middle. Then you have the fucking Clippers. You have the Nuggets. You have New Orleans at number 6. You have
the Suns.
You have Golden State down there at number 10. You have the Lakers down there at number 9. Like
Sacramento Kings and Dallas.
Dude, it is. I'm not sold on Dallas still. I don't know. I'm not a big. I love Jason Kidd as a player. I'm not a big Jason Kidd guy as a coach.
Fair enough.
I love Luka, and I'm a huge Mark Cuban guy, but not a big fan of Dallas Mavericks. Sacramento Kings, though, Sabonis has been playing out of his fucking mind this year.
Yep.
It is awesome. I fucking love watching them. They have a great... Dude, the West is going to be so much fun. That's what I'm looking forward to. Once you get to, like, the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals, then the Eastern I'll start paying attention to. But the West... My team to beat in the West, OKC.
OKC.
I'm going OKC. I know a lot... Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it. I like, pulling on the young guns.
I love Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, though.
Oh, he's great.
He's so much fun.
I just think they might have a little trouble when it comes to playoff time. Just with that age and that roster, just might not have the experience. I would put my money on them to win it all next year. Like something that like they go maybe a little bit of a playoff run, but get kind of stumped at a certain point, whether it's in the second round of the conference finals. But I don't know. I think they're maybe just a little too young to actually do a whole push. My team to beat, Phoenix Suns.
Dude, Frank Vogel's a great fucking coach, first of all.
Yeah.
Second of all, they have, obviously, Kevin Durant. They have just studs everywhere.
Bradley Beal, Devin Booker.
Right, Devin Booker and everybody. They could sneak up and just beat anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, but you can say that about almost everybody. Like, in the top 6, New Orleans, like, I know I said they're bad, but they can beat anybody. The Clippers, they have enough star power to beat anybody. James Harden's playing well. Russ, Paul George, all of them. Like you said, the Suns can beat anybody. And then you have the top guys, Denver Nuggets, the OKC, and the Timberwolves. Like, all those guys, they can all beat people. Mm-hmm. And you can never count out Steph Curry and LeBron James.
Yeah.
This is like, the West is kind of like NBA porn right now.
It's
fucking awesome.
It's really nice.
You're playing out scenarios in your head right now, of any type of like the first round.
Yeah.
Even the first round.
And I think we've seen a switch because, as I recall, 5-6 years back, it was more of like the East that was heavily like up and down. And we have seen a big time shift where it's complete opposite now. It's the West is the show.
The West is the show. Yeah. The West in the NBA is like the AFC in the NFL last year. Mm-hmm. This past year. But yeah. You got anything else on the NBA?
I'll give a shout out to Victor Wembanyama.
5-5.
Yeah, he had the 5-5 game. Second rookie to record the 5-5 game.
Dude, honestly, we're just, and this isn't from me. I was talking to one of my friends the other day. We're just scraping the surface with Wembanyama.
Yeah.
Once he gets acclimated and they start running the offense through him, his stat line's going to be out of this fucking world.
Well, he's also not even playing the full game. He's playing 26, 27 minutes.
Again, yes. And when they increase his minutes to 32 to 38, and then his stat line's going to go up. And the fact, 5 blocks, understand. That's obvious. Steals, though. 5 steals, that's quick.
That's pretty quick.
That's quick. And you're 7'4", the lankiest motherfucker on the court. You look like, you ever seen Stranger Things?
Yeah.
At the end of season 1, I think it is, they got that big giant spider looking thing.
Yep.
That's what Wembanyama reminds me of.
Actually, it's been funny that's the character. So they basically have the creative player character in NBA 2K.
Oh yeah,
and that's what people would do. They would just do all the settings, the longest settings, and he actually looks like that. It's pretty crazy.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and I've been seeing that for years, and now it's an actual human that actually is.
Right. Well, he might be an alien, but
he might be.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we've had 7'6" Yao Ming. Mm-hmm. Except Wembanyama's actually athletic.
Yeah, he can hustle up and down the court.
He's just Yao Ming. He was just tall.
He was a post guy.
He was a post man. Yeah, Wembanyama could be a 7'4" guard.
That's why they call him a point guard.
Right.
I mean, or a point center. That's it.
A point center.
Yeah, and Yao Ming was fully a center.
Yeah. But NBA coming down the stretch is going to be so much fun. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's get to Otdish on this date in sports history. I will start because you got some good ones. In 1912, the Yankees announced they will be wearing pinstripes. Legendary.
Big time announcement.
Legendary, because that ended up becoming the most iconic baseball thing. You go to the hey, you want to play for Yankees? You want to wear the pinstripes? That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you got to say.
And what was it? Basically, the reason why the Yankees were so good was because the other team was always staring at the pinstripes.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that was 1912. It's been around for a long, long time.
Wow.
Long time. What you got?
Classic look. All right, 1959, Boston Celtics. Bob Cousy. Cousy,
I think.
Yeah. Sets NBA record with 28 assists And the Celtics score 173 to beat Minneapolis Lakers, 173 to 139.
Paved the way for today's NBA.
Yep.
Paved the way. 28 assists?
28 assists.
Holy fuck me.
Now, I will say, I'm not trying to defeat that feat, but back in 1959, how many really efficient ball carriers were there? So he probably was just carrying the ball the entire time, most of the time.
Oh, you can say that's the Wilt Chamberlain effect.
I mean, yeah.
It's the Wilt Chamberlain. You play who you play when you play them. Okay, you can't like these guys paved the way. You know, like Pistol Pete Maravich. He was a game changer in his own right. Would he have success now? Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. Nobody knows. You have to. It's different eras.
Different eras. Yeah.
173 points in one game.
I was about to say we're complaining about today's NBA.
Yes, that is insane.
Yeah. 173 to 139. So both teams were playing. They didn't have defense back then either.
Yeah, what do we complain? I guess history just repeats itself.
Yeah, it just comes in,
we
circles.
came full circle.
Yeah. So maybe it is we're just experiencing good talent right now.
Yeah. Maybe in the 50s they experienced good talent.
Yeah. Because think about this. Let's do a comparison of NFL and NBA. I mean, we always thought that the NFL wasn't playing defense anymore, but now come to look at it, we just had a plethora of great quarterbacks during the early 2010s and 2000s. Like Peyton Manning, Tom Brady.
It's the golden age of quarterbacks.
Yes, yeah, and we just thought at the time we were like, oh man, they're racking up points. There's no defense nowadays, and now it's like, wait, maybe those were the reason why those quarterbacks were the reason why they were so good.
Sucked.
Yeah,
maybe
a mixed answer, complex.
Yeah. I mean, because I don't know, they had some decent quarterbacks in the 80s, good quarterbacks in the 90s. Dan Marino, John Elway, Joe Montana.
Yeah,
they had some guys, but they also had the 1985 Bears defense. Or honestly, the 90s were defined by fucking defenses. Like the Eagles defense, Giants defenses. Like they were the Dallas defense. They were.
That's what kind of
nasty.
Argues our point where maybe it just comes in waves.
Yeah,
like there's
full circle.
Yeah, there's just times where we have better offensive talent, and then sometimes we just have better defensive talent.
When it comes to the NFL, though, they changed the rules. Same with the NBA. Same with the NBA. Maybe they'll change them back. Who knows?
Yeah. So I did actually, last tidbit, I did pull up who has the actual record, and that's Scott Skiles. He's got 30 assists.
Scott Skiles?
Yeah, he currently has the record for most assists in a game because I was figured people would want to know that
I don't
right
know
now.
who the fuck that is.
Don't know, but John Stockton has 28 as well.
Nice. Okay, well there we go.
You know that name.
You got me back. All right, cool. I know that name. In 1996, on this date in 1996, the Chicago Bulls reached 50 victories in 56 games to set an NBA record. The 96 Bulls were the best. The 95-96 Bulls were the best team of all time. I know that the record was broken by the Warriors. I can't remember which year it was. Was it the 15-16 Warriors or 17 Warriors? Somewhere
around there.
The Warriors went 73-9. The Chicago Bulls team went 72-10. If those two teams played each other with either the NBA rules today or the NBA rules in the mid 90s, the Bulls beat them 9 times out of 10.
Bulls in 4.
Bulls in 4 for sure. Yeah. That's pull out the brooms. So, but I don't want to take anything away. Actually, I won't say. I'll say Bulls in 5. I don't want to take anything away from
Draymond Green.
Dennis Rodman would eat Draymond Green for fucking breakfast in them 1 second.
That was a joke.
I'm a big 90s kid. I'm dating myself here, but yeah. The best team to ever do it, 95-96 Bulls.
Fair enough. All right. 1987. This one's a good one. This one is the NCAA cancels SMU's entire football schedule for gross violations for athletic corruption.
They were paying their players.
They were paying their players. They got themselves the death penalty, which is quote unquote for repeat violators. And the big storyline out of that was so SMU was SMU is in Dallas, and about that time, it was kind of an up and coming city during those early 80s because of the oil and gas industry. And so the Dallas Cowboys were dubbed the America's team. But it was hard for SMU for such a small school that they were only 6,000 enrolled, for them to kind of keep up with the Texas A&Ms, and all the big schools in Texas. So they obviously started paying their players. They started there was a big group of boosters that started really putting a collective effort into, really like, hey, we're going to do whatever it takes to actually win. And one of the biggest names that came out of that was Eric Dickerson was committed to Texas A&M, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, which still is an enigma to this day, he switched over to SMU, which wasn't as big of a school, obviously not as big as a name, and still to this day, it's not explained. There's actually a 30 for 30 for that.
It's not explained.
Penalty.
It's not explained.
Well, it's explained. But
okay. You know the coach, the last name of the coach that was coaching SMU?
I saw it. I couldn't remember it.
Meyer.
Yeah, that's right.
Just fuck up coaches are last name Meyer.
Oh, absolutely, always.
Yeah.
That was probably his great grandfather.
Yeah, or his actually probably his dad.
Or his dad.
That's what I took from that story. Was just coaches with the last name Meyer. They are just fuck ups.
Yeah. Yep.
They're good coaches. They're good at what they do.
They're good at finding the booty hole.
I guess so. I don't know about that. But yeah, that's wild, and it's gonna actually segue really nicely into our next segment. Later on, we'll get to it. We're gonna segue into the NFL. Combine week started today.
Yes.
Combine week. This is one of my favorite weeks of the year.
I was about to say this is awesome.
Yes, because this week it kind of leads up to the college basketball tournaments, the conference tournament.
Mm-hmm.
It's not quite, but it fills in a little bit of the void between now and the conference tournaments.
Yes,
basketball. Nothing really happened today. We'll do more of a recap of it next week, obviously, but it starts today, and we had this announcement a couple weeks ago. Actually, I didn't see it. The new NCAA football game is coming out this summer.
Yes. A lot of excitement, a lot of buzz on that.
That's your favorite game?
Yes. It was
of all time.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I played that for hours and hours, and took probably every single team to the championship and Dynasty.
Do you think they will incorporate NIL and transfer portals?
They have to.
Do you think that will be fun?
Apparently, they are trying to do as much realism to the game as possible. So that obviously would have to be incorporated into it, included. I don't know. It'll be different.
I think. Okay, so from in real life, from a fan's perspective, in real life, I think the NIL and transfer portal is frustrating and it's not as enjoyable. I think if you own a team, I think the NIL deals in the transfer portal is going to make that game so much more fun.
You think so?
Bro, I think there's going to be so many more variables in the offseason. That was our thing. We love the fucking offseason.
Look, I'm just saying, if I lose my starting quarterback Jackson Dart to Ole Miss because of a private jet that he gets, I'm going to be pissed.
You saw that?
I'm going to be fucking pissed. Yeah. Now, that's actually a real life scenario, but
that is real life. No, that legit happened in real life. That sounds like a fucking video game thing.
Yeah. And an exaggeration, but no, it's legit.
Yeah. Let's see. Michigan sends 18 kids to the combine. That's a record. I don't care.
Beats LSU.
I don't care. I don't care. No, the 2019 LSU team would slaughter the 2023 Michigan team.
I think it's
not even close.
I think it's a growing trend that the NFL Combine is just the teams that are not named Alabama and Georgia that win the national title are getting they're like, oh, well, how do they do that? Let's check out their players.
Yeah. No, I know. It has nothing to do. That doesn't mean anything. Michigan sending 18 people to the combine means nothing to me.
Yeah, it just means not many people, not people elected to go into the draft last year from Michigan. They held on to this year because they could had a chance for a national championship.
Also, there's a lot of Michigan players that have to show the NFL that they can play football. That there's not enough tape that hey, we can do this.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't care. Malik Neighbors, there's a couple of players, but Malik Neighbors is one among a few players that won't do anything in the combine except for interview.
Him and Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, they will. There's others, but those are the two top names. They will, on their pro day, do workouts.
And that's becoming common.
Yes.
That's actually, as much as I hate it because I love seeing everybody
Agreed.
in that arena, the NFL Combine Scouting Combine arena, perform all those drills. It is becoming common, and I don't actually think it's them. I think it's just their agents are advising them.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the correct decision to make. It's just, again, from a fan perspective, like we are, it sucks.
Yeah,
it kind of sucks. I want to see Malik Neighbors play. I want to see Marvin Harrison Jr. Try out or run in the combine.
And those kind of don't make as much sense as the quarterbacks, because even though I would love to see the quarterbacks throw, I do get how it could hurt your stock if you're a top quarterback like Caleb Williams, Drake May, and Jaden Daniels.
Oh, if I was Caleb Williams, I would never throw in this.
Yeah, because,
not even a little bit.
But you throw in your pro day because you throw to receivers that you've been throwing to all the time.
Correct. This is more for those quarterbacks that are 6 through 10 on the list that need to prove themselves, and even 11 through 15.
Yeah, well, no one's seen J.J. McCarthy ever throw a pass, so that will be very beneficial for him.
It'll be interesting for everybody.
Yeah.
It'll be nice. We'll finally see him throw a pass. But yeah, I'm still pumped. I can't wait. I love watching these athletes fucking run the 40 times, throw passes and shit. Two really quick things I want to get to. The Saints restructured their Derek Carr deal to make cap space. Who cares? We're going to get the same fucking thing as last year.
Oh, yeah. Well, it just turned it into a signing bonus, and it allowed us to get...
Well, actually, we didn't get any cap space. We did. We got some cap
I
understand
space.
that, but we're still in the negative.
Oh, yeah. Well,
that's what I'm saying. We just lessened our negative.
Yeah. We're actually, right now, we're 32. 32 over the cap.
Jesus Christ.
But, that's better than...
The fact that we're saying that's good
yeah,
says a lot about how bad we were over the cap space.
we were 81.
Jesus. Yeah, I'm still... Joe, I'm going to have a hard time psyching myself up for the Saints season next year.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get a repeat of last year. The only silver lining so far that I can think of is it's not looking good for Tampa, Atlanta, and Carolina either. So
here we go again.
You know what I'm saying? Who's the best worst team?
Yes.
Real quick, Eric Bieniemy is going to become UCLA's offensive coordinator / assistant head coach.
Yeah.
He just wants to be as close to a head coach without ever becoming a head coach. Ever.
Yeah.
Poor guy. I don't even want to say poor guy anymore. This is just his choice. He doesn't want to be a head coach.
Yeah.
He has zero interest.
And he just can't stay out of the media a little bit. He came out and said, whenever he accepted this job, he came out and said he was not fired. And it was like, you didn't really have to say that.
No.
Like, nobody...
Now everyone thinks you got fired.
Yeah, exactly.
You either got fired or forced to retire, and you just basically went to a different job.
It's common practice for a new coach to come in and put his coaches and his regime in whenever he, takes over a franchise. So no one's going to fault you of being like, oh, yeah, they didn't keep him because they fired him. And it's like, no, they didn't keep him because he's trying to put in his system.
Right. Yeah, but you don't say I didn't get fired.
Yeah, just like that, all you have to do is just walk out.
You don't have to say that.
I get the media was trying to like egg it on, but you can't just throw gasoline on that fire.
I was not fired. Yeah, bro, you definitely were fired.
Yeah.
They were just being nice to you.
But I'm happy for him with this.
It's just like Kadarius Toney saying that he was not injured.
Yeah, it's like, golly, you were just going to mess yourself up.
You didn't have to say that.
You didn't have to say it. Like, teams could have just been like, oh, yeah, you were hurt, that's why you weren't playing. And it still makes you look good, like you still have potential. And now it's like, you're a head case.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Okay, you know what? Let's get to the big news. Some of the big news in the football world. I put this under NFL just because it actually is kind of college, so we can consider it switching to college football. But Adam Schefter put out a tweet, and it was apparently about a trend that a lot of college coaches were taking less money and going in I guess, what would you call, like, the lesser tier coaching position? So, like, an offensive coordinator would take a special teams job. Like, they were taking less money, a lower position in the NFL, rather than coaching college. And he said it was due to the NIL deals, the transfer portal, basically the new NCAA world.
Yeah, and I think that was also one of the things, brought on when Chip Kelly went into the NFL instead of being a head coach at UCLA. Yeah, no,
coaches are getting sick of it. I mean, and honestly, I think I won't say this like this is for sure. I don't know anything about this. I think it's a big deal why Nick Saban left, like why he retired. I still think Nick Saban had a good 3 or 4 years left in him. Like, I know he's getting old. He's in his 70s, but hell, he looked good. Those coaches, a lot of the times, they'll coach like well into their 70s.
Yeah, I mean, R.I.P. Joe Paterno. I mean, he coached forever,
80s, right?
Yeah,
he was like 80.
I mean, Mac Brown was older than Nick Saban. He's still coaching.
Yeah, so like, I think he still had a few good years left in him. I think he quit. He retired because of this shit. It's wild.
I mean, because think about it. It's not that he couldn't do it. He just doesn't feel like doing it at this age.
Right, and also he basically would have to do it at this age and go through a transition period. This is realignment. Yeah. This is all part of realignment. It's not just the conferences that are realigning. This is NCAA college football realigning. Mm-hmm. Like, it's all together. Which kind of leads me to my point that I kind of wanted to get to. So, a judge in Tennessee, basically, I guess he froze all the NIL restrictions, yes. So, the NCAA is prevented from enforcing its NIL rules against any school. And honestly, it's giving student athletes a little more latitude on signing deals. So, I wasn't aware. I really wasn't aware of this, but the NCAA kind of just went and wrote their own rules as far as the NIL goes. They said that colleges could not use NIL deals as a recruiting tool, basically.
Yep.
That's basically, to kind of summarize it. Mm-hmm. And they didn't even accuse Tennessee of violating. There was no formal accusation of Tennessee violating those rules. The NCAA just launched an investigation into Tennessee, and Tennessee was like, fuck you, motherfucker. I'm going to come back at you because I think, from what I was reading, I didn't get the whole story. It's still very, very new, and I'm very dumb. It might be what the NCAA is doing by preventing these colleges from offering NIL deals to recruits. I think it might be illegal, is what they're saying.
Yeah, so it's apparently it has to do with like antitrust laws. Like it's kind of going against the antitrust laws in some way. Again, I'm the same boat as you, just maybe too dumb to figure it out within 3 or 4 weeks. So like that's a 3 or 4 week read for me.
Yeah, same here. This came out like yesterday. I think this came out yesterday. I need a good 4 to 5 day buffer.
Yeah, to at least read it, understand it, reread it, and understand it.
Right, and I need more articles, because like the initial articles that come out about these types of things are very complicated. They use a lot of big words.
They're like the official documents.
Yes, and the articles that come out like 4 or 5 days later, those are the ones that are dumbed down.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that I can understand.
And they have the different segments of breaking each down, and you can press next, like on the Bleacher Report, where you can press next to the next segment and read the headline.
The letters are bigger.
Yeah.
They use plain words. It's better.
There's
better.
pictures.
There's pictures. Yes,
Yeah.
I need pictures. Pictures. If they had like a thing that like it was like holographic, that would be even better. But anyways, this is huge because it's a giant blow to the power of the NCAA. Mm-hmm. They I love how the NCAA, going back to this, I love how the NCAA just like decided to write their own rules on the NIL, and everyone was just like, yeah, all right, cool, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
And it worked for what, a year or two, or 2 years, since 2021, and it wasn't until they launched an investigation that people were just like, all right, no, fuck this. And then, you get a couple of lawyers that dive really deeply into it, you'll find something.
Yeah, they were able to find that it was like, no. But yeah, that's kind of funny. And honestly, going back to our OT dish, is kind of the change of authority that the NCAA has had. I mean, they went from being able to give the death penalty to like schools being like, fuck you.
Yeah. Oh, how the times they are changing.
Yeah.
You're right. That is wild. The whole argument that the NCAA had was they're trying to, quote unquote, preserve amateurism. What does that mean?
Well, amateurism as far as the amateur sports, if
I understand
athletes,
that,
the athletes not getting paid. That's to dumb it down.
The athletes not getting paid is preserve amateurism?
Well, you know how like high school students, they don't get paid to play sports. Like they just play for the school. That's an amateur. Whereas when it's professional, it becomes your job. You get paid. There's salary. There's contracts like the NFL.
Whereas, right, but they had the NIL deals and they were still trying to preserve amateurism. That's what I don't get. I want to know the language behind preserving amateurism.
Well, it's an oxymoron at this point with NIL.
It kind of is. You're right. Yeah, right. All right, cool. That's what it... Fine.
It's one of the big words I know.
It's an oxymoron. Good deal. Let's see. What else did we have on this? Hang on. Yeah, this is the new look at the new look college football. It's going to get to the point where I don't know what the NCAA is going to be good for. What are they going to use the NCAA for? Like, is it just going to be... Because the colleges don't need it.
Oh, no. I mean...
all the Big Ten, the SEC, they can all act as their own, I don't know, conglomerate,
entity.
I guess. Entity, conglomerate, like... And they can just negotiate with each other, and like they don't need the NCAA.
No, they're getting squeezed out for sure.
Yeah, and honestly, it kind of sucks because I love college football. I love the way it used to be. I love it so much that I will adjust. I'm not gonna just stop watching college football.
Mm-hmm.
But the NCAA, it seems like the NCAA is on its way out.
That's what it would appear to be.
Maybe not anytime soon, but it just That's the way it seems to me. It's just they're gone.
I mean, if they're starting to really lack that authoritative power, like there's really nothing that they can do.
That's right. I think they need to make the kids, at least college, veering off of the NCAA, I think they need to make the kids sign contracts.
Yeah, there needs to be some sort of structure.
Because the transfer portal stuff is, like, it's not only getting on my nerves as a fan, it's getting on a lot of fans' nerves. It's getting on a lot of, like, coaches' nerves, just colleges in general. Like, the only thing it benefits is unhappy college players. And honestly, deal with it. Fuck off. People do things that people go to jobs that they don't like because they have to. They have to make money. They go do your job because it's your fucking job. You're going to go to the NFL usually with those transfer portal guys. Like, the transfer portal is getting ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it really is. I mean, that whole mixture of things that they, I guess, legalized, transfer portal, NIL, that's the reason why coaches are leaving for the NFL right now. It's because, like, it's turned almost into the NFL, but the NFL actually has some sort of structure and rules.
Yes.
Whereas the NCAA is just the Wild Wild West.
It is. You're absolutely right. And they need to get some type of grasp on it.
Yeah.
They need to figure out some type of rules because players can't leave like that in the NFL.
No.
They can't just like say, "Hey, I'm sick of this. I'm complaining. I'm whining." These are fucking college kids. I mean, we'll talk about this in our next segment. College kids are dumb.
Yeah.
They're not smart. Like, you and I both been in college. I did the 6-year plan. You did the 5-year plan, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have been dumb college kids. We have seen the college atmosphere. Those kids are not. They're not smart enough to make their own decisions.
Yeah. No. Honestly, in my case scenario, for instance, I transferred 4 times to 2 schools.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't even make up my mind on, what schools I wanted to go to.
Exactly.
And I wasn't even actually being held accountable for a sports team, I was just doing my own education at that point. So
make them sign contracts.
Yeah. Maybe like 2-year contracts.
Yeah.
And that way when you're an upperclassman, then you have the chance to go somewhere else.
Dude, honestly, yeah, just like if you're highly recruited freshman, you come in and they're like, "Hey, listen, we're going to pay you such and such, but you have to stay for at least 2 years. So you have to stay through your freshman year, you have to stay through your sophomore year." Okay? And then we can renegotiate afterwards.
You're eligible to get like name, image, and likeness as an upperclassman. Like you get some sort of funding whenever you're a lower classman. Maybe like some of the scholarships are different. Like they're different grades of scholarships. Like, hey, look, we'll give you a top tier scholarship if you come to this school. Because the thing is with the Wild Wild West, it's just going to be the biggest, baddest dogs are going to win all the time because they have all the money.
If there's no regulations, correct.
Ohio State, Alabama, Texas, LSU, like all the big blue bloods. I mean, obviously, I know that's going to bode well for us, but all the big blue bloods are going to win every single recruiting battle because they just have more fuck you money than everybody else.
It's a giant free-for-all.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. It needs to be under control. You got anything else on this?
No, that was our rant.
That was our rant, yeah. I feel like we got our opinion out there. Let's get to some college basketball talk. This is vamping up really, really nicely. LSU plays to their competition. That's just basically what I got from this. They play to their. It's so fucking frustrating when you beat number 11 South Carolina, number 17 Kentucky, and then get blown out by Mississippi State. I understand we had some injuries. I get it, but still, Mississippi State, they're not good this year.
You know what? I think it's just one of those lower steps, but it is taking the next step for the LSU program. It's just one of those, like, great teams can put away every team, whereas, good teams kind of play up and down, per se. So, I don't know. I don't knock Matt McMahon. I think he's doing a good job, showing improvement.
With what he has.
I think he just needs maybe a year or two.
Yeah. And at least right now, Georgia's winning 60-59. 4 minutes, 17 seconds left.
Gosh, dang it.
All right, well, let's finish this up so we can fucking go watch the end of it, Joe.
All right, sounds good.
You want to go watch the end of it? All right. Yeah, LSU's frustrating. All right, we got to talk about court storming.
I was about to say, this might be a topic.
Yeah, court storming. Good luck stopping it. Again, like we talked about earlier, college kids are dumb. They're not going to stop storming the court.
Yeah.
The only way... all right, so this is what I thought about. There's two options that they have to stop storming the court. They bring out a literal riot crew. Mm-hmm. Like with the riot shields, with the metal pelts and shit like that, or whatever the fuck they have in those guns. Tear gas, everything. You can do that, and you can start a fucking riot. You can do that. Or you know how in NASCAR they have those fences?
Yeah.
They have the fences with the barbed wire. You could do that, which they won't do either one of those. So you're not going to stop. You're not going to stop storming the court. What are you doing finding the college?
Yeah, I don't know how the finding the college is really going to solve the problem.
The fans are the reason that the courts are stormed.
Yep.
They're not paying a fucking dime.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're going to punish the college for something they didn't do? They did. They literally say, do not storm the court. The colleges are doing their job in trying to prevent it. You're not going to prevent court storming. Also, Filipowski, what's his name? Filipowski.
Yeah.
Filipowski.
Kyle Filipowski.
He's a fucking bitch. He's a bitch. He tried to push the fucking fan.
He did try to push the
fan.
He
tried to push the fan. It was the same with Caitlin Clark. A lot of people are bringing up the Caitlin Clark thing.
Well, Caitlin Clark flopped.
That was the biggest flop job of all time.
She flopped, and then Kyle he looked like he pushed the guy, to be honest with you. I mean, that's all what, especially a lot of the social media was blowing up about.
Yeah, he pushed the guy. He went in for the fucking shove.
Yeah.
It was his fault he got hurt. And here's the thing. He's not even hurt. It's one of those things where, like, you know how, like, your injury when you lose is way worse than your injury if you win?
Yeah.
That's basically what he was doing. He was being a fucking typical Duke asshole and just milking a bruise.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Yeah, the report came out that he had no major injury, but he's still sore, quote unquote.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck Duke. And you know what? This made me love court storming more. I want them to do a better job. All right, when Creighton beat UConn,
yeah,
they had security. They led all the teams off the court. They had a plan. They did well. Okay, other colleges can do that. You're not going to stop court storming and stop complaining about it. Okay, do what Creighton did. Have a plan. Get the other team off, and fuck off.
Yeah. My thing is, and this point might be mute or just might not reach to people, but I think court storming is a great tradition, and, storming the field is a great tradition in college sports. Like, can the fans, not be, so aggressive, too? Like, I feel like it could go both ways. Like, obviously, I said my opinion about Caitlin Clark and Kyle. But also, the fans, just be respectful of the other team. Go celebrate with your team. There's no reason why you need to be talking shit or doing anything to the other team. Let them do their thing and go off the court, and then you go celebrate with your team.
If you look, I don't think the girl was trying to run into Caitlin Clark.
I don't think she was either.
I don't think Filipowski, he went out of his way. I don't think a lot of these fans are actually trying to fucking talk shit.
Just be just be aware of your surroundings and
they're drunk. They're drunk.
My thing is Gen Z, don't ruin it for us.
Again, we talked about this. College kids are dumb.
They're dumb.
They're dumb. Most of them are drunk. You're not going to stop. You can't rely on the college kids to do any of that. You're not going to stop that. You have to put a plan in place.
I just thought we could have a little PSA to everybody, that could, maybe help out. That way we get some sort of balance.
See, I've been kind of leaning into it. I think they should just be able to fight everybody.
Just don't be a bitch.
Basically, Filipowski can just be like, yo, you, come here. And then they fucking duke it out.
And the athletes should be better.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're a fan. You get a once-in-a-lifetime time to try and fight a fucking D1 athlete.
Gloves off.
Gloves off. Let's go. March Madness is going to be fun. There's no, like, clear-cut team. UConn was kind of there. Then they didn't just get beat by Creighton. They got destroyed by Creighton. Houston-Baylor game was awesome. I will never bet on Purdue. They're going to lose in the second round. Tennessee, again, they're going to lose in the Sweet 16 because that's what Rick Barnes' teams always do.
I don't know. He's got Dalton Connect now. He's got his star.
Dude, Connect is so good.
He can connect with that basket.
I know. That's the greatest name.
Yeah.
Houston kind of is looking like the fucking dog right now.
Which is fantastic, honestly, for them. Like, I was not expecting that in their first year in the Big 12. I believe I mentioned that last episode, too. But, yeah, that's crazy. To go to a new conference like that and dominate.
I love it. Let's see, college baseball real quick. LSU slipped up against Stony Brook. Who cares? We're still number 3.
Yeah, they've become our new arch nemesis.
Yeah, I'm not a bit. Yeah, we lost to them in the fucking
Super Regional in 2012.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the 4 in a row type of thing. I guess it's because my brain is just like catered to, 3-game series in baseball.
Yeah.
I don't like the 4 games in a row that we're doing.
Well, we're American. We can't just even a series 2-2. We have to have a winner.
Yeah, it's got to be a winner.
There's got to be 3 games. There's got to be you either get two out of the 3 games or you get a sweep.
Yeah, there's got to be 3, 5, 7. That's just it's the American way.
It can't be ties.
No. You got anything else?
That's about it.
All right. We will see y'all next week. Love y'all.
Later.